So this will be about a controller. Let's check. We have created a model. That's what we just did with Mongoose. Now we're going to create a controller, and the controller that will modify data in our database. We have some overview for that, and that is related to routes. So there are, in our application, for the next step are two directories relevant. We already have, where is it, a model. The next will be the controller, and what we also need is a route. And a route, a specific route, will map to some URL, and the base URL will be http localhost port 3000/API/books, and we have database operations, create, retrieve, update, and delete. That's just the basic CRUD operations. Where is it? Here. Basic CRUD operations, and retrieve, we will do that in 2 because we want to retrieve all and we want to retrieve 1. Okay. With that we have request methods, post, get. You already might know that any request within a browser is a get request, and post, you might have seen that with some form you posted to the server. And there are more request methods of HTTP verbs, that's another name for that. The only one we will be focusing on is put and delete. Put is related to update and delete is related to delete. Within a route we can have URL parameters. That's not the same as request parameters, we will come to that. And route parameters are only relevant when I retrieve 1, update 1 or delete 1 document. There is no route parameter related to a create or retrieve all. Body parameters, that is what will be sent to the server from the client to create or update a document, and there are controllers related to that. So if I do a create, so I will create a new document that is sent with request method post, that does not have any route parameters, and it does have body parameters, and there's a controller create related to that. So well, let's create that controller then. So we open in server app controllers books.js, and in here we have some to-dos, and the to-do is we're gonna create a book. Create a book, and what do we have to do? So the save method, that's relevant here, so look at save. Mongoose does have, you can do any Mongo statement that can be executed from Mongoose, but Mongoose does also have a few other methods. So we're looking to two things. One is we save something, and the other is for Mongoose. Let's check that. So the Mongoose operation save, it updates an existing document or inserts a new document. So we can use save for both creating and updating. And how does that in Mongoose? That is just a save. And let's check how that works and what is related to that. So always read the documentation for Mongo and for Mongoose. It's not the same. And what will we do here? it's not that one, but save method for Mongoose. And well, look at what's the difference between Mongo and Mongoose. And what will be the return values. So here's our code. It will export a create method. So create is the name of the controller. That can be any name. For instance, create1, we name it create. It's a function expression. It has two parameters, a request object and a response object. Now we have to start first with, of course, this one. Define the variables. Which variables do we need here? Mongoose and the book. And the book is the model that we have defined earlier in here, and that's exported with this one. So that book is available here. So book is the name of the model. And here we're going to create a new book. And the content of that book will be the request body. And so now at this moment we will have a Mongoose document that is modeled against the model we have defined before, and the content of that is what's passed in with rec body. So the body is read from the request object, and that will be in there. The next step is save. Save is one of the methods on the model for Mongoose, and that also has a it has an anonymous function as a parameter that has an error object if there's an error related to that, and what will we send back to the browser is a JSON object, and the JSON is defined here as an object. We will have three properties in it: a meta property, a doc property, and an error property. And let's do it in this way. Action that's created. This meta is just that we can have some control about what we are doing. Timestamp, when will this happen, and the file name is just the file name of this file. The doc is the document that's just created, and if there's an error, that will be filled here. And this will be sent back to the browser. This is our create controller. We will have a few controllers, but we will start here. The next will be the route. Everything starts with a route and a controller, but first we have a model for that. So next is the route for this.